In this video, I want to talk to you about why you're probably not closing as many sales as you hope you are. Now, there's a lot of components to closing deals, right? You have the actual offer itself, price point, the prospect, the process they went through. So I actually think there's 5 P's that have to happen and be in alignment prior to the sale. So the first is the promotion for the right prospect, at the right price, for the right product, following the right process, right? Those are the 5 P's that I think through when I'm looking at an entire sales pipeline. But what I want to talk about specifically today is why, even if you're following all those things correctly and you're getting on the phone and you have a script that you know works, or your team has a script that you wrote out because you know it works, right? If they're not closing, then it means that they may be saying the right things, but they may be saying it the wrong way. And so there's 2 components to saying the right things the right way. All right. So one is tone, and the second is cadence, right? Is emphasis. And so I want to give you an example of both of those things. So for example, if I were to give you a script like, Jerry Seinfeld's comedy script, and you were to get on stage and you were to try and deliver that, right? The tone, the pauses that you would have would not be the same as his, right? His intonations would be different than yours are. And so as a result, he would be funny and you would not be. And you'd be wondering like, well, this worked for Jerry. Why is it not working for me? And so just like that, you may be looking at your team and wondering like, well, this works for me. Why is it not working for them? And you're looking and they're saying the words, but you're like, why is this not working? It's because they're saying them the wrong way. And so let me illustrate this in a different way. So if I were to say my own name, so if Layla, my wife, calls me and she says, Alex, right? Or Alex, right? All 3 of those are just my name, right? Said differently, have different meanings. I'll give you another example. I got this from Jason Fladlin. I love this. I didn't say he hit his wife. 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 I didn't say he hit his wife, right? And so each of those sentences has different meaning, right? Because of the emphasis that we put on the words. And so just like both, so one is you have the tone that you're using, the pauses where you put emphasis, right? And then you have how you're saying the words. And so what happens is you have somebody who's reading a script, but they aren't reading it the right way. There's 2 ways to fix this, right? One of them is to become a master salesman, right? And learn how to control your tone, right? Learn when to lower your voice so that what you're saying shows the prospect that it's really important, right? So I'm slowing down what I'm saying. I'm lowering my tone so that you know that you need to pay attention to what I'm saying. Whereas if I'm really excited, I'm talking about all this stuff that's really exciting, and we're all fast paced, we're all up here, right? Then it's gonna communicate something different, even if we're both saying the same words. And so one of those things happens from repetition, right? You start to learn this stuff because you're like, man, I nailed that sale. What did I do right? And so one of my side note recommendations for everyone is everyone here hopefully has been on a hot streak at some point. Like there's some days you get on the phone and you're like, man, I can just close anyone right now. When you are hot, those are the videos you should watch. That's the game tape footage that you should go over and over and over again. Like in the beginning, you might not have that. You have to watch other people's stuff. But when you're hot, you say things differently. You pause at different points. And it's those micro nuances that create master salesmen. And the true master salesman, right? The difference between a 250 batter and a 300 batter, right? For a baseball analogy, it's like one hit every 2 or 3 games, right? It's not a huge difference. But that's the difference between a master salesman and an average salesman, is that great salesmen never get cold. They are always on a hot streak because they know how to recreate success. And it's because they know how to say the things the right way for the right prospect. And so, to wrap this up for you, if you have your sales team, right, the easiest tactic is to get them to watch the footage of themselves when they were hot. And if they haven't, watch other people who were hot and what they were saying at that point, because there are minor ways and tonality and shifts and pauses that you will do when you are assuming the close the right way, when you're projecting the confidence, when you have the conviction that communicates differently. Let me give you a fun tidbit that I found. Like we always close the highest percentage on our deals when we had people finishing our program, right? Because on the days that we would finish our cohorts, our groups of clients, we'd have all these success stories that would go again after another, after another, after another. We do all these interviews on one day. And so my sales team would watch this happen, and then they would get on the phones and they would be so convicted about what they were selling. And so this leads into the 2 ways that you can fix this, right? So number 1 is that you become a master salesman. You become a master salesman through repetition and through studying game tape footage, which is the first thing I said. The second way, and the faster way of doing this, is to believe in what you sell. This is hard. I'll be real with you. right? This is hard for a lot of people, especially if you're a business owner, because you know all the problems in your business. There are always going to be problems, and those aren't going to go away. And so one of the things that I have hacked in my own mind is asking 2 other questions, which is, I will never have a perfect product, and I'll tell you that right now, but I can have perfect intentions. Right? And so that is something that you can delineate for yourself, number 1. And you know your intentions. So if your intentions aren't perfect, then you can fix those and you can have perfect intentions, right? But your product will never be perfect because it can always improve, right? The second thing in terms of improving it is knowing that the prospect will be better served working with you than with anyone else. And so that is something that I have looked at. And so this is easier for somebody who's getting into a marketplace, and you can see the other competitors that are there. You may not be perfect, but you can believe that you are the absolute best shot that this person has to be successful. And this is especially true if you have some sort of education or training type business where someone is required to do something. So like if you're helping someone with life coaching, you're helping someone with weight loss, you're helping someone with their business. Like these are all skills that they have to develop. You cannot eat the food for someone. You cannot do the push-ups for someone. You cannot hop on the sales call for them. They have to learn the skill, which means that you can provide something, but they also have to come the other half the distance, right? And so the way to continue to have that conviction is 1, recognize your intentions. If you can fix your intentions to know that your intentions are perfect, then that is going to be a huge step forward that you'll have over your competition, because then it will cause you to say the things the right way. Because people can feel conviction. They can feel the subtle nuances of how you communicate, and they will choose to believe you, not based on what you say, but on how you say it. And the second way is by making sure that your product is the best and that it is the best shot that this person has. You can't say, I guarantee that you're going to lose weight. I can't say I'll guarantee that you're going to make more money, because you can't control the variables. But you can guarantee that you will be the best shot that this person has at being successful. And so for me, cracking that code mentally helped me a lot, especially in weight loss sales when I was starting out, right? Because I would have someone in and I knew the stats. I knew that in 6 months, half the people who were signing up weren't going to be at the gym. I knew that, right? But the thing is I can't look at someone and say like, well, you know what, maybe they shouldn't sign up, because I mean, half the people aren't going to show up, within 6 months. But instead, I was able to shift, and this was something that I had to learn, that I'm still the best shot this person has at getting where they want to go. Right? They're still going to have to do stuff on their part. But I know with conviction that my intentions are perfect and that I am the best shot they have at getting where they want to go. And that is the conviction that I can stand on, that I can look someone in the eyes through their soul and tell them that I were the best shot for them to be successful. And that is how you can change the way you speak, so you can speak with conviction to a prospect. And that is what I've found. And so hopefully you find this valuable. If you are not selling, or your team is not selling the way you want it, it is not necessarily because of the words you are saying. Sure, it's all the other things that I said, the promotion, the offer that you're running, right? The process that you're taking them through, the price that you're selling at, who you are selling to, the prospect themselves. All of those things are going to be things that are going to weigh into whether or not it's successful. But once you are actually on the phone with the person.
Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, wow, I should be further ahead by now? If you're trying to make money online or start your first business and feel overwhelmed, you're not alone. Every day you see other people succeeding and you wonder, why am I not succeeding? Maybe you don't like your job or you're unfulfilled. You want to do something you love and make money, but you feel stuck, bored, confused, or maybe all 3. I get it. I spent years in the exact same spot, afraid to fail, but ashamed of being afraid. And it wasn't until I paid another business owner to teach me how to run a local business that I felt comfortable starting my own. He showed me the ropes and gave me the confidence to start. And after scaling my local gym chain from learning this stuff from him, I started a company called Gym Launch, which I sold years later for $46.2 million. Now, what I want to do is repay the favor. I want to show you the ropes the exact way that business owner did for me. And as the person with the largest community on Skool, which I'll tell you about in a second, I can show you exactly what to do. You can start your own online community business today with all the things I didn't know when I started my first business for free with the Skool games. So imagine building a business being as easy as playing a video game with step-by-step instructions, live workshops, real-time leaderboards, and new friends to make it fun. If all that were true, would you at least be interested? Okay. Now, you might be wondering, well, what exactly is Skool? How do the Skool games work? How much does it cost? Do I need to be an expert? Do I need an audience? What are the prizes? Great questions. Let me break it down for you. Skool games is a fun, easy way to build your online business. No experience or followers needed. Just simply choose a painful experience you overcame, something you find interested or you're passionate about, or some skill you learned throughout your career, no matter how small. It could be as simple as a better way to organize folders, or meal prepping for kids who have food allergies, or travel hacks. And then all you have to do is just invite people to community about overcoming that pain, following that passion, or learning that skill. And we'll show you exactly how to build it and monetize it on your first try. Now, if that sounds insanely simple, that's because it is. So check it out. More than 1 out of 2 people who start a paid community in Skool make money. That means by your next reunion, instead of answering, "What are you up to these days?" you could be answering, "How'd you do that?" And "Could you help me?" And the thing is you probably could, because it's not that hard. Right now, people are paying hundreds, sometimes thousands, to get into digital communities the same way they do nightclubs or cafes. Just think about it as a place where lots of people who want to talk about the same stuff can gather together, and people pay to get in. And the crazy thing is people are selling courses and coaching programs for thousands and tens of thousands on how to build a business like this because it's so profitable. But what if there were a faster, easier, zero risk way to learn how to do this for yourself? What if you could learn how to start, scale, and monetize an online group the right way on your first try for free? Would you at least consider it? All right. So for those of you who want more out of life, an online community takes the least amount of time to get started. You can literally make money in hours. It requires the least skill. If you can invite people to a party, you can make this business work. And you don't need to be an expert. You just invite those people and let them do the heavy lifting for you. It's kind of like Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not the expert at anything. They just bring the people together and then they are the online de facto experts. It's even faster than building a course or starting a coaching program because you don't need to have all the answers for that exact reason. Interested yet? Good. Because School Games was designed to smash through every obstacle that once stood in the way of starting an online business. It's why we have such an insanely high success rate. We've obsessed for years about removing everything that stops people from succeeding. And that's why with the School Games, you can succeed without an audience or expertise. Because let's face it, most people don't. And so we had to figure out a way to help people win. And of the 5 out of 7 communities I talked about earlier who won the School Games in their first month, only 2 of them had organic followings before they started. You don't need any fancy software, calendars, payment processing. Everything you need is already built into School. And you don't even have to know what your community is going to be about yet. I'll show you how to pick it. It's simple, and you can do it in less than 20 minutes. And if you're wondering, well, how do I get people invited to my community? Don't worry, you don't have to ask people you know. We've made it simple to crowdsource community, just like Evelyn did through School itself on the millions of users we already have on the platform. As for tech skills, you don't need any. If you have the technology to watch this video right now, you already have all the tech you need to start, scale, and succeed. So what happens if you sign up right now? Well, you'll follow our process, you'll build a paid community about whatever it is you love, and if you become one of the top 10 communities on the leaderboard, you'll join me and other successful community owners here in Vegas. And even if you don't win the first month, you get to keep competing every month until you win. And then you can join all the alumni and all the past winners to get to the next level. Worst case scenario, you join, you do nothing, you decide to quit and walk away with thousands of dollars worth of knowledge that you can take with you on whatever business venture you want next. Best case scenario, you take a zero risk move and change your life forever. Or maybe you're just like Kyle, who's never won the games, never got in the top 10, and just built a community that makes him $4,664 a month in recurring revenue. He didn't win any awards, but would 3, 4, 5 grand a month change things for you? If so, then you're in the right place. Remember, the only guarantee is that if you don't take the shot, you'll stay exactly where you are. But if you do, you could be the next one coming out to Vegas celebrating how quickly you built an online business with consistent monthly recurring revenue. You in? Click the button below to join the School Games now. If you join this month, I'll personally onboard you live. Sign up and I'll see you on our onboarding call on Monday. You can ask me whatever you want. Now, if you're worried about starting a free trial, we offer an unconditional money back guarantee. So if you finish your trial and you forget to cancel, just let us know and we'll refund you. All right, we just want people to win. And I'm going to say this one more time because it's important. 1 out of 2 people who start a paid community in School make money, with the average paid community owner earning $1,360 per month. You really can do this. Click the button and let's get started.